What we're seeing is an attack, not on necessarily DEI or wokeness. We're seeing an attack on the very fabric of our company, which is opportunity for all, including women.
Sonny, do you have this job on The View because of DEI? Do you have this job on The View because of affirmative action? I mean, are you admitting to us that you have no talent? Renegade Online. I love this super chat here from Low Punter that just came in for $5, perfectly timed. Welcome to VR's new show, Woke Women Say the Darndest Things. Yeah, and on continuing on this DEI thing as we swing into Disney, because, again, let's go back to another Disney chick. Here we got another little quick Sunny Hostin clip, because she's going to talk about her problems with DEI going away, too, and, just whiny make complainy.
When we're talking about DEI, we're not talking about a DEI office. We're talking about equal opportunity and inclusion across all offices for all people, so that it is more reflective of what America looks like. This will specifically harm women, right?
Oh, no.
And it will specifically harm African Americans and Latinos.
There we go. Women and minorities, hardest hit, as always. I wish Ron Coleman were here to make that joke. Look,
she didn't say Latinx. Throw your hands in the air, folks. We've defeated it. We've defeated.
She did the second. She did the second worst thing, Pro. She did a Kamala. Whenever they say words and they get all of a sudden just grow an accent, and Latinos. It's like, why are you saying it like that? Just say it like you're normal.
This will really hurt the Russian mobsters too. You do not understand.
We're not just talking about black jobs.
How about Asians?
It will affect Asians as well.
Joy comes in. Make sure you say Asians too.
Well,
It's
so I think
really
this is
hurt the Asians, says Sonny Hostin.
really counter to his campaign promises to protect black jobs, because in the federal government, overwhelmingly black professionals work there. We're talking about over 16%, more than the black population. And so I think what we're facing here.
But are they working in jobs that actually serve a real purpose? Or are you telling me, because again, I'm going off by what Sonny Hostin is saying here, is that you're so nobody's saying that we're going to start firing and closing down departments that just because somebody is black or Hispanic or female. We're talking about a very specific type of department that has served no purpose whatsoever except to hire more people that fit certain quote-unquote marginalized groups for reasons, not for necessity, not for merit, or not for anything other than filling a racial and gender quota. So I don't really understand her complaint here, because all we're talking about is a very specific set of criteria. It is diversity, equity, and inclusion departments, HR people that working in that realm, and any type of training, any type of forced training, forced classes, brainwashing classes, any type of third-party contractors like the woman that we played on TikTok a moment ago, whining about how, and look, they're all the fact checkers, the DEI people, all these folks out there that have been running a scam on corporate America and on the government and the taxpayers in that regard. The free ride is over. That's all we're talking about here. The free ride is over. Nobody is trying to cancel black folks from working in the government or women from working in the government. If there are jobs that those same individuals can fill meritoriously, then go get them. They're there. But this type of department, this directive is just not going to be part of the game anymore.
Here is sort of a second nadir, because Woodrow Wilson, back in the day, did the same thing. He resegregated the federal government, leading to a plunge in income for not only black workers, but also for women. And so what we're seeing is an attack, not on necessarily DEI or wokeness. We're seeing an attack on the very fabric of our company, which is opportunity for all, including women. And women, what Whoopi has said often, women were really the most, they gained the most advantages from affirmative action.
But okay, but the problem with that is that, again, Sonny Hostin, Sonny, do you have this job on The View because of DEI? Do you have this job on The View because of affirmative action? I mean, are you admitting to us that you have no talent and this is how you got the job because you were a woman of color that filled a checkbox for the show?
Well, here's the other thing. So she's acting like this is, the culling of government jobs en masse. I'm sorry. Are DEI departments bigger than 1% of the entire government workload? Because I would be
hope not.
Even today, I would be shocked. So I don't know what she's talking about.
That's what I'm saying.
This is a tiny percentage of federal workers.
Well, that's the. She's going into this whole business of how badly it's going to affect women and how bad the women are where they are now because of affirmative action, and black folks are where they are now because of affirmative action and DEI. I think it's kind of offensive to throw that giant blanket over everybody that fits those criteria. Like, what are you, is Sonny Hostin trying to suggest that nobody out there that is a black, nobody out there that's a woman was hired because of their skill set? There's plenty of them out there, I'm sure, that were. We're talking about the ones that were hired because they didn't have a skill set. They fit a bill, and specifically the ones that were hired to run departments like DEI that do nothing but sit there to go out and hire other people based on race and gender with no meritocracy whatsoever. It's bad for efficiency. It's bad for the taxpayer. It's bad for culture. Because then you get people like Sonny Hostin sitting here and telling us that essentially what it sounds like is coming out of her mouth is that women and black folks wouldn't have anything but for DEI. And I mean, it's just like,
listen,
huh?
President Trump could come out tomorrow and say that we have found an absolute cure for cancer. Nobody will die or suffer from cancer ever again. And Sonny Hostin would come on The View an hour later and say, President Trump is putting women doctors and black doctors out of jobs all over the nation with his latest announcement.
Yeah, pretty much.
And so this is a war on women. I think it's a war on people of color. And what we're going to see is a lot of pain, but especially to those communities that need those jobs.
It's a war on women, and it's a war on people of color. Again.
Wait a minute, Valiant. I'm starting to add this up in my head. Women and people of color. That leaves, white dudes.
Yeah.
So it's white dudes versus the world, according to Sonny Hostin. She just doesn't phrase it that way because that would sound awful, as opposed to the way that she does say it, which hides the awful just a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I think that they're getting really frustrated with this. And again, we're talking about government jobs. We're talking about jobs at the federal level. And in fact, a lot of these same folks have been talking about, well, if Trump gets elected, I'm going to be resigning anyway. It's like, okay. I mean, I would care if every person that wanted to quit government tomorrow was a white guy and walk off the job, and we reduced the non-military government payrolls by half. I'd be fine with it. Be fine with it. That's a good start.
Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.